Hello there. Hope you're doing well tonight. We'll just wait a few minutes to get started and let people start to trickle in. So, as you arrive to get started for our meditation together tonight, just take a moment now as we're waiting to really arrive in the present moment right now. So, you don't need to get rid of any thoughts or emotions. You don't need to grab onto them either. Just let them be for now. Let them go. Take a moment now to just sit, arrive here. Maybe notice your body as you sit. Just taking these few minutes as we wait for people to arrive in the moment right now. At any time during the meditation and teaching tonight, you can ask questions in the little chat box on the side, and I'll answer them at the end. So feel free to pipe in or add comments or whatever comes to mind, and I'll be happy to engage. So it can be questions about the meditation tonight, about meditation in general, your practice, whatever seems appropriate. We'll be doing a body scan tonight, so you can really find a seat that's comfortable for you. If you can sit cross-legged on a cushion. You can also sit in a chair. If you're sitting in a chair, just make sure to get your feet propped up, like on a cushion, if you need to. So if your feet are dangling, it's good to add something underneath them so you do have that feeling of the ground beneath you. And you want to get your back relatively straight as you can for your body. So your back doesn't need to be so straight that you feel tense. And you also don't want to be kind of hunched over like this. So have a feeling like your spine is like a garden hose that's full of water. Just nice and strong, supporting your body. But also see how much you can rest into this posture. So whenever we meditate, we want to strike a balance between too comfortable and uncomfortable. So we don't want to be so comfortable we're falling asleep, and we don't want to be so uncomfortable that the whole time we meditate, all we're thinking about is how much our body hurts. So find that posture somewhere in between. Sometimes it can be nice to do a body scan lying down. So you can try that for sure. For me, I always fell asleep whenever I tried doing body scans lying down, so I always had to sit up. But a lot of people do have practices where they do them lying down. So you can definitely give it a try. And if you fall asleep, then you get to have a good nap. But it's totally up to you. So finding a seat you're comfortable in, lying down, whatever works for you. So far this season, we've done an open awareness practice. We've done a practice with sound. And then tonight, we're going to be working with a body scan. Body scans tend to be relaxing and very accessible for most people. So it really is a pretty great starting meditation, but also one you could do for the rest of your life, which will be great. The nice thing with body scans, like any practice we do, is you don't need anything special. All you need is your awareness and your body. So every practice that we do always comes back to awareness. So we might become aware of sound, or like tonight we'll be aware of sensations in our body. But what we're trying to do is to get in touch with awareness, which doesn't sound like much, but this ability of the mind to know, the knowing mind, what I think of as the big mind, is actually a pretty special thing that we often overlook. So the knowing mind, or awareness, is just that quality of knowing that's always present. So that you know that I'm speaking right now, that you can see me on the screen. Before the stories start, before emotions start, there's a quality of knowing. And that knowing continues even as our mind is busy, doing things, thinking, judging, perceiving, remembering, anticipating. All of that happens, but it's all contained inside the knowing mind. So as we meditate, we start to touch base with the knowing mind more and more and begin to relate to it more. And the special thing about this mind is that it doesn't change. it isn't affected by what happens inside or outside, which might seem not possible at first. And I know the first time I heard this kind of emphasis put on awareness, I was like, that's doesn't make any sense. I know that I feel bad. How does that make me feel better? But as you touch base with awareness more and more, you'll start to find that there's actually a lot of space that you're not aware of right now. So usually when we're stressed, when we're upset and anxious, we really tend to shrink down into a little tight mind. And it's like we can't hold anything in our mind except for negative thoughts about what's happening or fearing what's going to happen in the future. But outside of that little tightness is this big, expansive, knowing mind. So as we're kind of ruminating and dwelling on thoughts, that knowing mind hasn't gone anywhere. It still knows there are sounds outside, like the crickets. It still knows the space in the room. It knows pretty much everything that's in your awareness at any time is present. So all we need to do is recognize awareness and come back to it. And over time, we'll find it's a place where we can really sit calmly no matter what happens. So it's not that thoughts stop or that our reactions stop or emotions stop, but we start to relate more to the knowing mind and less to the kind of chattering monkey mind that always needs to have a job, is always playing around with our emotions and thoughts. We start to relate more to this big mind, which can be a really safe and happy place, especially because everything else is always changing. The world outside is changing. The world inside is changing. Our bodies are changing. Our thoughts and emotions, they run very fast. They change very rapidly. But the knowing mind doesn't change. It's always there, always present. And as we touch base with it more and more, it becomes more familiar. And it is the one constant in all of our lives. It's always there and always safe. So one of my teachers, Mingyur Rinpoche, he says that life is like a stock market, and we tend to live at the tops and the bottoms. So we have really great experiences, and we fall down, and we have a really bad experience, and we come up and have a really good experience and fall down. All of 2020 could be considered a down experience for most people. And we tend to live there and not really be present in the rest of our lives. But if we can bring presence to that kind of middle area, we'll be happier, calmer, less yanked around by good and bad things, and just be more present. So awareness really is special. And I hope that as you continue to meditate, you start to feel that ability. So tonight, we're going to focus our attention, get in touch with our awareness through the body. So once again, just finding a comfortable seat now. You can sit in a chair, cushion, you can lie down. For your body, you can have the legs crossed if you're sitting. You can also put your feet under you, sit on your knees. For your hands, if you're sitting in a chair, just leave them comfortably on your knees. If you're seated cross-legged, you could put them on your knees, which is what I do because I have very long arms. You can also do the mudra of meditative equipoise, which is the left hand inside the right hand with the thumbs touching. And you can let your hands rest about 4 finger widths below the navel. You can also put a cushion there so that they get to that spot. For the speech instruction, we want to touch base with silence as much as possible. So our mouths aren't moving, which helps. And then for the thinking mind, we're not stopping thoughts from happening at all. We just let the mind do its thing, but we don't piece them together. So thoughts on their own have very little life. And you'll see this as you meditate. They're just like little pops that happen. And then when we piece them together is when we get big stories. So we're just letting thoughts be, letting them arise and fall. And then for the mind, we want to be open, spacious. Think of the sky, vast, open. And then think of flexibility. So we're not trying to push away experience, and we're not trying to grab on to experience either. We're taking this middle path of flexibility, letting things come and go while we focus our awareness on our body. So let's begin. Often I say to keep the eyes open, but tonight we'll close our eyes maybe. I think it might be a little more natural for a body scan, unless you want to open your eyes. So closed eyes, opened eyes, it's up to you, but you have my permission to do either. Just taking a moment to notice that you're sitting. Notice the chair or cushion beneath you, the pressure, the heat. Notice the space in the room around you, literal space, the space between you and the walls and the ceiling, the furniture. Notice how awareness is present in space, in your body, in your sensations. Notice how awareness is in every sound you hear. And before we get into the body scan, we can take a moment to set our motivation for the practice. The classic motivation that we use in the lineage that I'm taught in is, may I reach an awakened state or find my true self so that I might help all others to achieve that same goal. But we don't need to make our motivation that big. It can be as simple as, may I find some calm for the next 15 minutes. May I find some peace. May I be more present in my life. Whatever your intention is for the practice, you can go ahead and just think about it for a moment and then let that thought go. Now, starting with the body, moving our attention gently to the crown of the head, the very top of the head. Bringing your awareness there and just noticing any sensation that's happening. It could be heat or coolness, tension, and also no sensation at all. Any of those things is possible. And just notice it. That's it. Don't need to change it. Don't need to make it better. Don't need it to be different. Just know the sensation. Now gently scanning your attention down to the forehead. Again, just noticing any sensation that's happening. You don't even have to label it or name it. See how much you can just know very basic sensation. Moving your attention now to your nose. Maybe noticing the outside of the nose and then inside the nostrils, the sinuses. Moving your attention out to the cheekbones. Maybe seeing if you can notice the cheekbones themselves and then the fleshy part of the cheeks. Moving down now to the lips, the teeth, tongue, Moving backwards now through the back of the mouth, seeing if you can really move your attention all the way back to the back of the mouth, to the neck, the back of the neck on the other side, roughly where the skull meets the neck. Gently scan your attention up for a moment to the back of the head, noticing any sensation. Often the back of the head can feel tight. So for this particular practice, we're not trying to relax, actually. We're just noticing, that's it. But when you do notice particular tension, what you can do is invite softness to the area. So just send an invitation, and maybe even just think the word soft, soft. But don't worry about the result. The area may loosen or soften, it may not, but it's no concern of ours. Moving down the spine now to the upper shoulders. Moving down the left arm, feeling the shoulder, the bicep. Seeing if you can gently move your attention through the bicep, through the bone of the arm, and to the tricep. Moving down to the elbow now. Noticing the exterior of the elbow. Then moving your attention to the interior of the elbow. Maybe gently looking at both. Seeing if they feel different. And through this whole scan, you need very little energy to notice these things. As little energy as it takes to listen to my voice right now, that's all the energy you need to use to look at these different sensations. We're not really doing anything. We're just noticing what's already there. That's it. Moving down the forearm now. Noticing the outer forearm and the inner forearm. Moving to the wrist now. Maybe seeing if you can feel where the wrist, the arm, and the hand all connect. Moving to the hand itself. Feeling the palm of the hand. And again, doing this little kind of move of going through the hand itself, through the flesh and bone, and to the outside of the hand. And now, guiding yourself for a moment, take a minute now to go through each finger and thumb, starting from the knuckle and moving up through each digit to the very tip. Just gently exploring on your own time now. Moving to the right arm now, feeling the shoulder, the bicep, tricep, outer elbow and inner elbow. Moving down to the inner forearm and outer forearm. Again, the wrist. And into the hand itself. Taking some time with the palm of the hand, maybe noticing the center of the palm of the hand and how it's different than where the hand connects to each finger. And bringing your attention to the top of the hand now. And again, gently on your own time, bringing your attention to each digit, starting at the knuckle and gently moving up through each digit to the very tip. And remember, no matter what distractions arise, thoughts, emotions, external sounds, or internal sounds, it's perfectly okay, and we actually don't have to do anything with these distractions. We can actually let them be just as they are. And whenever we're distracted, we just bring our attention back to the body scan. That's all. And we'll do this move again and again. And that's actually the act of meditation. This movement from distraction to awareness. Moving away from the arms and back to the trunk of the body now. Let's start at the front of the neck now, the throat. Gently moving down the throat. Seeing if you can spend a moment in the hollow of the throat, right at the bottom of the neck. Moving down to the chest. And gently moving your attention through the chest, the ribs, the lungs, to the back. Gently skating your attention around the left shoulder blade, and then the right shoulder blade. Another area we often hold a lot of tension. And again, remembering we don't have to do anything with this tension, but we can invite that feeling of softness and just send the invitation and then let it go. Moving down the spine now, through the mid back, to the low back. And now again, gently moving your attention from the spine through the mid body and to the navel on the other side. Maybe just taking a moment to be grateful for this unbelievable and strange body that we have, and all the essential things that are contained in this torso of ours. Moving down to the hips now. Noticing the bones of the hips and then the crease of the hips. Noticing the pelvis. Now on the left leg, seeing if you can bring awareness to where the leg connects with the hip, right in the joint there. Just bringing a soft awareness. Moving down the quadricep now, the front of the left leg, huge muscle. Gently scanning the attention down. And then going through the muscle, through the bone, and out to the hamstring on the other side, the back of the leg. Now repeating with the right, slowly bringing your attention to where the right leg meets the pelvis and the joint, bringing your attention to the quadricep, that big length of muscle, again through the muscle, through the bone, to the hamstring on the back of the leg. Continuing on the right leg down to the inside of the knee, moving that soft attention and awareness through the knee to the kneecap, and down to the shin. Gently moving your attention around to the calf, the back of the lower right leg, down to the ankle, noticing the inside and the outside of the ankle. Coming down to the right foot. Starting at the heel and moving our attention to the bottom of the foot, through the bottom of the heel, the arch of the foot, gently moving your attention through the arch, the inside of the foot, and to the top of the foot now. Bringing your attention from where the ankle meets the top of the foot, gently scanning it down to where the toes meet the foot. Taking a moment now on your own to explore each toe, starting with the big toe, moving from the bottom joint all the way to the tip of the toe. You may notice that it's harder to feel some toes, or you may not feel them at all, and that's perfectly okay. Just notice that absence of feeling. Bringing your attention now to the inside of the left knee, through the inside of the left knee to the kneecap, maybe noticing the sides of the knee, coming down to the shin, bringing your attention from the shin around to the calf muscle at the back, another area that's often tight for many people. Just sending that invitation of softness. Moving to the ankle bone now, feeling the inside and the outside of the ankle. Moving to the heel of the left foot. Gently scanning your attention down the bottom of the foot to the arch of the foot. And then moving your attention through the bottom of the foot, through the bones, and out to the top of the foot. Scanning your awareness from the top of the ankle, where it meets the top of the foot, all the way down to the knuckles of the toes. And again, on your own time, bringing your attention to each toe. Now allowing this lens of mindfulness or awareness to expand to the entire body, not looking at any one part of the body, just seeing if you can bring awareness to the entire body. This symphony of different sensations arising and falling. Now see if you can move your attention from the body to the space around the body, literal space. Notice that as you bring your awareness to the space around you, it doesn't actually leave your body. You're still aware of the body, and you're also aware of space. See if you can open that awareness up even wider, taking in any sounds, sensations, smells, tastes. This is noticing our big sky mind. So the sensations in our body, the sounds around us, our thoughts, our emotions, these all occur like clouds in this vast sky of the mind. They don't define the mind itself. They arise and they pass away, and meanwhile, there's this vast expanse of sky. And as we come to the end of our meditation tonight, taking a moment now to do the practice of dedicating the merit. And the idea is that we dedicate any benefit we receive through this practice to those who need it. Whatever calm, whatever presence of mind or insight, just having this wish that whoever, whatever, needs that same quality of mind is able to receive it through our practice. And as we end our practice, you can take a moment now to stretch or listen to whatever your body needs. I will give you some homework for the days ahead. And as I give you the homework, feel free to ask any questions in the chat box, and I'll answer them before we end for the night. Just a small note that I will not be doing a live stream next week because I will be attending a teaching. So I will hopefully get some benefit from that I can also bring to you guys in 2 weeks. So for your formal practice homework, if you already have a formal practice, that's great. You can try out the body scan during that time, or you can continue to do the practice that you like. If you don't have a formal practice yet, I would recommend doing it every day if possible, instead of once or twice a week. So if that means just doing 5 minutes a day, everyone can find 5 minutes. It's not very much. Take 5 minutes and do a quick body scan, just like we did now, but in quick mode. So you can just quickly go from the top of your head to your toes. You'll fill the 5 minutes very quickly. And you can do that any time of the day. So you can do it in the morning if that suits you. You can do it in the evening, you can do it on your lunch break, during your coffee break, whenever works. And the good thing about a body scan is that you have your body, it's here. So you don't need anything special. And then for your informal homework, we want to start as much as possible to bring this awareness of awareness to our everyday lives, because that's really where it matters, right? When we're able to have that presence of mind, we have more choice over our reactions to our own internal events and to what happens around us. So for informal practice, see if you can find something you do several times throughout the day and just bring some awareness to it. So there are lots of different things you can do. Washing your hands could be one. Every time you wash your hands, remember, oh, right, when I wash my hands, I'm going to just be aware of washing my hands. If you want it to be more frequent, it could be something like every time you go through a doorway, every time you go up or down the stairs, things like that. So think of something you do a few times a day and decide, starting now, that that will be a mindful moment. And the nice thing about that informal practice is that you're not adding anything to your day. These are things you're already doing, so you're just deciding to bring awareness to them. And that's your homework. I won't check. And I do hope that it brings you some calm, because I know these are difficult times right now. And why are we even sitting here meditating? But I really do think that this practice transforms us and can transform the world around us too. So it is important work. So I see no questions. I think we're good. If you had any questions, now's the time. Thank you. Thank you for coming out, Sarah. Thank you for your practice. Thank you, all of you, for your practice. I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. I wish you all the best in the days ahead. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be healthy. And may you live with ease.